I could not have expected my first try guys video to go viral the way it did. And so I wanted to come back today and cover the statement video that the Try Guys released on October 3rd, because I filmed my first video a couple days before they released theirs. And also they released a podcast by Zach and Keith. And so I wanted to address that a little bit as well. And also just answer some of your very smart questions from like the 700 comments that you guys have left. I mean, like just pinching myself because this is such a dream come true to create this kind of community. So hopefully today I can answer some more legal questions. Like I said before, I am an attorney in Hollywood. I've been one for 15 years. I've worked at places like Disney and Skydance and BuzzFeed, but I am not giving any legal advice here. I'm not making any legal conclusions. These are just my opinions. So the number one question that all of you guys have had is, what is going to happen to Ned's ownership stake in the company in Second Try LLC? And this is what I believe is going to happen. I believe that the guys are probably going to do one of two things. One, they're going to try to buy him out completely and buy out his ownership stake in the company. Or two, they might let him remain a silent partner, silent owner in the company and still profit share in past and future, videos and merchandise and whatnot, because he owns, a quarter of the business. However, I believe Ned is being exited from the company in terms of his partnership stake because he went very quietly, right? We haven't heard anything from Ned other than that one statement that he released, which said that he entered into a consensual workplace relationship with an employee, right? And I believe he said that because the attorneys probably directed him to say that because they're trying to protect against claims of sexual harassment. So how would this exit look, right? I think one, they could give him a lump sum, but that's going to be a big amount. I have to imagine it's worth in the millions of dollars, right? They have 20 employees. They make a ton of content. I mean, if you listen to their content or their podcast, they have a lot of brand deals in there. And having worked at BuzzFeed, I know these brand deals can be huge, probably in the six figures. So could they give Ned a huge sum right away? Probably not. So what they could do is buy him out, right? Over time. They could say, we'll give you, X amount every quarter. So the second way is they could allow him to stay on as a silent owner and just profit share, but, he would basically have no say in the business. I'm guessing it's probably going to be the first option where they try to buy him out. And I think what's going to happen is they're going to try to claw back that amount. They're going to say, you damaged our company. They're going to be able to prove damages, right? In their video, Keith even said, right, that there are brand deals that they have lost money in. There are videos that they cannot release, and that's money that they cannot get back.
There are several videos that we've deemed as fully unreleasable. You will never see them, and that is due to his involvement. And that's a decision that has cost us lots of money.
Well, those are actual money damages that they can say, well, Ned, if we owe you X, we're going to subtract these brand deals that we lost because of you. Or maybe they had other brand deals that they were negotiating and those deals went down because of the whole Ned scandal that was happening. So I'm thinking that's what's going to happen with the Ned's ownership stake in the company. Let's go into the video a little bit. And, these are the few highlights that I wanted to talk about because they're the ones that I think they connect with a lot of your questions that you asked me from my first video. And Eugene says that they've been talking to their lawyers and PR and HR basically for the past 3 weeks nonstop. And I said in my first video, right, that they were probably talking to their attorneys every single day. And sure enough, Zach even said it in his podcast, right, that for the past month, he would wake up at 7, put on a kettle and just basically answer emails and talk to lawyers all day long. So that's what they've been doing for the past month. But these are also 3, I think, very savvy businessmen who are trying to save their business right now. And I would say, from the flood of comments and support that they're getting, that they're doing a really good job. So I wanted to move on to some of the really smart questions that you guys asked me in the comment section of this first Try Guy video, which by the way, I will link below and at the end if you guys haven't seen it. So you say that, I know they removed Ned from the company as manager employee, but what about his stake in the company, which I've kind of, addressed. You say, I'm assuming they have to buy him out, but what if they are not able to? What are some of the issues they might run into if he continued to be part owner? So I think they will try to buy him out. Now, if he tries to fight it, I guess the guys could take him to court, right, and sue him for damages. And they can probably prove damages because they probably have lost brand deals. They probably can prove that, deals falling through or deals being diminished because of Ned's behavior. They can take him to court. Most cases in our world, when people sue, I would say 90% of cases get settled. In a lot of agreements that I negotiate and draft, there is an arbitration clause. So we usually go in front of an arbitrator who can, pass down judgment judgments the way kind of a judge does without having to go through the costly procedure of going to court. So they could probably try to sue him. Now, I think what they will do is they'll just try to persuade him to exit as an owner with ownership rights, you know, kind of like control rights or creative rights, and perhaps give him a cut of future revenues. I mean, that's what I would do if I was trying to guide them through this situation as their lawyer. A few people have asked this idea of, if California is a at-will state, then why can, you know, Alex potentially sue for wrongful termination? So I wanted to go explain that a little further. So if she was just let go for, you know, and there was no other claims attached, there was no other kind of anything being alleged, then yes, she could not claim that she was wrongfully terminated. However, because in this case there are potential claims of sexual harassment because Ned was her boss, it was somebody she reported to. I mean, Ned apparently was the HR professional, right? So she could claim that I had nobody to go to because Ned was the person who I was supposed to report this to. So if there's any allegations of sexual harassment or even discrimination, which is not the case here, but you know, I'm just saying in general. So basically you can't fire somebody if they bring up, I'm getting harassed by my boss, or I'm getting coerced by my boss to sleep with him. I'm not saying that's what's happening here. I'm just saying kind of in general. And then the company turns around and fires this person. Well, that's called retaliation, and that is illegal. It's kind of like whistleblowers, right? Whistleblowers go out to the world and kind of, they might say, oh, the company is doing something illegal, and then they get fired. So that's retaliation. So that's why Alex could have potential claims, right? I'm not saying she does. I have no idea. Again, this is just my opinion. But if there's any way she can claim sexual harassment, I know that they're probably exiting her and giving her a settlement package right now. Somebody asked, Eileen Augustine, who, you know, is an attorney, thank you so much for your kind words and for watching and commenting. She said, well, you know, it's probably going to be hard for Alex to get another job, right? And I think that's probably true. And so I think if I was Alex's lawyer, I would say, you know, my client's probably going to be out of a job for a year or two, so you need to give me a year or two severance, right? That's the way I would argue it. And I think the guys will settle her out, because to drag it out or let her even potentially sue the company will just do further damage. And that's not what these guys are focused on right now. They're focused on damage control. They are facing financial constraints. I forgot to mention this. You know, it goes back to my point of them probably buying Ned out, because Zach said in their podcast that, you know, he had this small film that he was working on, but who knows if that's financially responsible anymore. So that makes me think that they are indeed buying Ned out. So that's my video. You guys were really upset I didn't give you an outro or a goodbye, so I'm gonna do it here. If you guys didn't catch my first Try Guys video that has gone viral, I'll link it up here. Please come back and drop a comment and let me know what other questions you might have. This has been such a dream come true for me. This is Tyler. I'll see you next time.